It's the A Game with Angela LaGreca.
Your world, my world, what's the deal? Let's talk it out, see what it makes you feel. Writers, artists, comics, cooks, leaders, thinkers, talking about these books.
Bring your A game.
Bring it on.
Bring your A game.
Oh yeah.
On today's A Game, the hilarious Jessica Kirson talks comedy, characters, and more, plus Angela's marvelous meatball recipe, and a bonus interview with Bill Burr from the Angela Vault.
Super smart, funny, wild, acting out your inner child.
Bring your A game.
Game on.
Bring your A game.
Welcome to another episode of the A Game. On today's episode, I actually share my famous turkey meatball recipe, and it's a bit of a cheat. And I don't approve of cheaters, not in life or in love or in school, but when it comes to making meatballs, quick and easy. I have to say that it's called Show Me Your Skillet, and I brought the wrong skillet. This is what I usually use to make my little turkey meatballs, and this is what I used for the segment, which is a beautiful, beautiful skillet, but not as good as this one. As much as I love food, I think I love comedy as much, if not more. And the hilarious Jessica Kirson is my special guest. And so she's a great interview and a great talent. And in addition, a bonus interview with Bill Burr from 2006. We're going back to the Angela Vault when I was working at Plump TV and doing these local interviews in East Hampton. And he was performing at Guildhall. He had just done his comedy special. And Bill Burr he's the best. So we have a little sneak peek of that near the end. And I hope you have a great time. Enjoy the show. And remember, A Game, bring it on. Do your best. Challenging times. Bring it. Guys, this is the part of the show we called Show Me Your Skillet. I'm bearing it all today. And Show Me Your Skillet, we're making Angela's marvelous meatballs. They're not hard to make. And I have figured out a way to make meatballs quick and easy. It doesn't turn out right unless you put this hat on. Oh God. Every recipe, especially every Italian recipe, comes out better with a hat like this. I got this hat in Florence, Italy, for like $3. I was so excited, and right after, 3 little Italian boys pickpocketed me. So it was probably like $100, and so I believe I should use it again and again. 1 pound ground turkey meat. You can use veal, chicken, beef. You could use the combination with the pork that you get in the store to make a meatloaf. I don't care. I don't use those anymore because I'm trying to be healthy. And I like the ground turkey. So you basically plop that in right that. Okay? 1 pound of meat, 2 eggs. Very simple. Obviously, I washed my hands 1,000 times today alone. And in this bowl, I pour in the 2 eggs. Voila. Seasoned breadcrumbs. I like seasoned breadcrumbs. There's all kinds of brands out there. I use about a cup of seasoned breadcrumbs. Just throw it right in. Okay, delicious. Cheese, grated cheese. Now you can get a better grated, fresh grated cheese. You can get more of a store-bought grated cheese. I feel like the cheese does help a little bit, so if you can up it a little bit on the cheese, I'd spend more on cheese, but you don't have to. I put in about a little more than a half a cup. Again, really up to you if you really like more cheese. And the trick is water, believe it or not. Some people put an ice cube in their meatballs. That's too time consuming. A little bit of water. I would say about a half a cup to maybe 2/3 of a cup. I don't like meatballs that are boingy. Do you ever see the kind of meatballs where they like bocce balls and people are like, they're too thick and dense? I like a meatball that almost melts in your mouth. They're delicious. So now you start to mix this a little bit after washing your hands thoroughly. And I would also, oh, I forgot to add this part, of course, the most important part. Where are my seasonings? Here they are. So when you forget to put the seasonings in, this is what happens. It's not that hard though. Parsley flakes. You don't have to chop up fresh parsley. Garlic and onion powder. Salt, pepper. Simple. I used to chop garlic. I used to cut onions till my eyes were like hysterical. You don't need to. It comes out even better, honestly, because it's quicker. So, garlic powder. Again, this is you have to eyeball this. You put a little bit of that in, and that's enough. Then, you take your onion powder, and the same thing, and you put that in like this. Like a little dusting. Parsley flakes. And I know it feels like every real Italian will say, oh, she's cheating. But I don't think I am, because you're going to see at the end. I'm going to have somebody from LTV, where we are taping this in Wainscott in the Hamptons, the most beautiful place in the world, the East End of Long Island. Okay, hold on. I have to take care of this part. All right, hold on just a minute. Okay, so I've got breadcrumb, pound of turkey meat, I've got 2 eggs, I've got water. Now I'm putting in my seasonings. I put in onion powder, I put in garlic powder, I put in parsley flakes. I don't have my regular table salt, which I think is better, but I have sea salt here, so that's okay too, because we're by the sea, so we have to use sea salt. I don't put too much salt in because I think the cheese kind of compensates for that, and pepper is always a good thing. Olive oil. Now I don't skimp on olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is better than other stuff. So, you put a generous amount of olive oil and heat them in the skillets. I'm using 2 smaller skillets, but I also like to work with a very large skillet. I also like to use the Teflon coated ones, but they're not supposed to be as good for you. And these particular all-clads are so fancy looking that I'm gonna try them. So now, here we go. While that's heating up, you start mixing, okay? I don't believe in over-handling this concoction. Less is more. You don't need to go crazy with all your ingredients. I have to tell you, once when I worked at ABC at The View, a very famous chef came on and he was giving his meatball recipe, and I can't really name him, but his mother was in the audience, and I went up to her and I said, tell me what the secret recipe is. And she said, oh, I can't tell you that. I never forgot that. I thought, how can you pass along a recipe and leave out the most important ingredient? Or the secret one that's really gonna make it as good as you make it. So here we bear all, we show our skillets. I've mixed this. I can tell that it's a little bit dry for my liking. It's probably fine, but I want it a little more wet, so I'm gonna put some water in. I put this in like this, okay? And I mix it again. So it's not so bad, right? Now it feels a little bit better, and these should be heating up. I don't know, hopefully. Now, making the meatballs. You can make them large, small. You take a little bit, 1, 2, 3, plop. That's really how we do it. My daughter and I do this together. 1, 2, 3, plop. And I over overhandle them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the most. That's a larger one, but you should probably make them uniform. So as you can see, they're cooking along there. Now, I want you guys to send your recipes in. I want you to be on the show. We can do a Zoom one. You can come here to the LTV studios. I want you to show us your skillets. And you can bake too. It doesn't have to be just, a main course. But I love cooking, and I learned because I love food, And when I was younger, I never used to always ask relatives, how do you do that? What do you mean you do it by the eye? You judge it, but you do eventually. The more that you cook, the more you realize what you need. Oh, that's the sound we need. That's the TV sizzle sound. So I'm mixing this up. Now you can make more than a pound. I've made 5 pounds for a party, seriously. But I find when you double a recipe, I find when you wear this hat, that it's almost impossible to see. I find when you double a recipe that it never comes out exactly the same way. So I've done it, or I've made 2 pounds at a time and I've doubled everything up, but for some reason, doing it 1 pound at a time like that seems to work better. So we're almost done here. Watch how simple this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't overhandle. They're not baseballs, This is about done. Get that there. And now I'm going to talk about the sauce. Hang on. We let these cook. Now some people actually put raw meatballs directly into their sauce. That makes me uncomfortable. I like to cook them at least almost all the way and then let them sit in there. Now, I used to labor over making, in Italian you would say a marinara sauce. If you were Americanized, you would say a marinara sauce. If you were in Connecticut, you'd say the kind of sauce that we order out. So a marinara sauce is really a basic tomato sauce. It's really not that hard to make, but honestly, who has the time when you can get a jarred sauce that is so unbelievable? I do like this particular marinara sauce. It has to be made from San Marzano tomatoes. And you have to go to the gym before you open the jar. Thank you. But that's always a good idea. San Marzano tomatoes are the tomatoes that make your tomato sauce delicious. And if you can cook with those, you should. I use this Rayo sauce in all different forms. The vodka sauce is delicious, but you don't have to. My backup is Silver Palette. I think that's a pretty good jarred sauce. That's, maybe half the price. And honestly, that's it. That's it. I might put a little water in to dilute it. That's it. Turn that on, get that going, and then you're gonna turn these. Watch. Oh, look, splatter. I turn them like this. Hopefully they don't splatter all over the place. These are nice, these all-clads, I have to say. I do like the Teflon ones because they're a little easier to turn. And by the way, if you are making your own tomato sauce, which is really just garlic, oil, onions, San Marzano tomatoes, and some basil, if you add and this is a secret because my grandmother actually revealed this to us. If you use grated carrot, small grated carrot, in your tomato sauce, that makes it sweeter. You can also add a touch of sugar. People do that in their tomato sauce to cut the acidity. So I would say I'm having trouble turning these because I usually don't use this kind of a pan, but that's minor. So I'm gonna let these cook a little bit more. That's pretty much the basic recipe until they get a little more brown. Then you drain them. You just get a plate with some paper towels. So let's say we wanted to take one of these and drain it. Okay, that's it. Just sit them on a paper towel like that. You can put a thing over it. You drain them and then you plop them in the sauce. And that's the process. So I'm gonna keep doing this. You let them sit in the sauce. I feel meatballs are even better the day after, but they're fine the same day. Now you can, of course, make pasta to go along with it. You can just get Italian bread, slice up the meatballs, put some grated cheese on top, put it in the oven. They're just cozy. They're even good in the summer. And they're not really that fattening when they're turkey. That's how I feel about it. So I expect some recipes coming in. I love fish. Anybody have a good fish recipe? I love vegetables. I love making orecchiette with broccoli rabe, although it's broccoli rabe, and sausage, turkey sausage. If you stand over this long enough, it's like a natural facial. Not really. See, I'm overworking these too much because I'm anxious that they're not cooking fast enough, and that's really the mistake, is that you have to have patience when you cook. You have to have patience for a lot of things in life. Are you noticing that this year? I'm gonna drain this, and I'm gonna drain this one. You can feel when they're cooked, there's a certain weightlessness to them. They don't feel all heavy. I'm gonna call our executive director, Michael Clark, who encouraged me to do this show, and have him taste test the meatballs after they cook for a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna put some of these meatballs in the sauce. Now, I said, they're not perfect. They're not perfect, but they will be delicious, I hope. I mean, I'm humble as a chef. You have to be humble. These are almost done. Oh, Michael, hold on in. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Angela.
All right, I don't know if the sauce is warm enough, but I'm gonna have you test. Hold on. Come on in. This is Michael Clark, our executive director. Hold
This
on.
won't fit on my Irish head, though.
So Michael is Irish, which is nothing better than an Irish person to taste a meatball. Hold on, wait. I don't think that sauce is hot enough, but hold on.
Smells great.
That's your plate.
All right.
This is your camera.
Is that it?
Be honest. Be honest. The audience is waiting.
Okay.
Better be cooked. I think it is. Don't mess me up now.
You think it is?
I hope so.
Seriously, this is really good.
Don't mess with me.
No, I'm. No, this is really.
Are they good? It's a hit. Oh, I'm burning. Hold on.
This is really good.
Not bad?
Yeah, no, this is really good.
They're easy to make, though. They're really
Yeah.
not that hard.
I was watching.
You
on,
did?
On
Or
the
did you
monitor. Yeah. I'm just wondering who's going to do the dishes.
I'm doing the dishes.
All
It's the
right.
easiest thing. So that's pretty much it. Those are Angela's Marvelous Meatballs. I have 2 more pounds that I'm going to make after you go away. But I really want folks to send in their recipes. So the address is the A Game at ltveh.org. Send me what you love to make. Tell me what the recipe is. And if you're not camera shy and you're willing to either go on a Zoom or come into our LTV studios, we can cook together. I would love to see what you have to make.
Come in and eat.
Come in and eat. Well, we're not going to feed the masses, but you know, definitely. The show is called The A Game. This is Show Me Your Skillet. Michael Clark, thanks for taste testing on our first A Game recipe moment. And yeah, we'll get some people on, and thank you guys for sharing your recipes. The A Game at ltveh.org. Show us your skillet. Very excited today to have a special guest. I mean, the word funny is really not the best adjective to describe Jessica Kirson. She's a powerhouse. She's hilarious. She cracks me up. I'm not even an out loud laugher. She's been on late night shows, Jimmy Fallon. She's been at The View. She has her own special. She's got her own podcast. That's enough, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Kirson, what are you doing?
I feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
I've always loved you, and I think you're hysterical.
Stop.
And, thank you.
Well, I mean, the last time I saw you, actually, literally saw you, not virtually saw you with this nonsense, but we have to put up with, was where I am broadcasting from now in Wainscott and Hamptons. You were performing, killing them at the Ellen Hermanson Breast Cancer Foundation benefit. This was in February of 2020.
Yeah.
And they were screaming.
It says she's from New Jersey.
What part of New Jersey? Do you think she knows the I's in the States?
They sound like cats being assaulted.
I want a discount.
They also,
And then everybody was screaming because we can't go outside now. And how are you coping? How are you coping as a comedian who you work a lot? You work live on video, and now, like most comics, what are you doing? I mean, I'm not out and about. My producing life has taken me more behind the scenes, so I can't even say how that's affected, comedy.
It's very hard. I mean, it's like, I feel like people don't want you to say it. I mean, you're different because you're real, but a lot of people are like, no, it's okay. I'm like, no, it's really not. Like, it's not okay right now.
No, it's not.
It will be at some point, but it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on the road for 21 years and now I'm home 24/7. And like, it's so amazing. Tonight I'm performing. You're going to crack up. I'm performing in Astoria, Queens. I think I have to stand on the back of a truck. I'm not kidding.
How's this going?
And everyone's going to be in their car. So I can't hear.
So it's like drive-in comedy.
I'm like, I had a billboard in Times Square and now I'm on a Zoom call in my walk-in closet. I'm literally, look.
And then everybody's like, well, I do a lot of these interviews and I did not change my pajama bottoms. I think
I'm not even wearing pants.
Christmas pajama bottoms, if I had bottoms on, and I just changed my shirt for these local interviews. I'm like, oh, who is it, the congressman? Just a minute, hold on. Let me check
I don't even look in the miror.
No, I mean, I'm like, it's just never, it doesn't even matter, and now it's like,
anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. But when we have to reemerge, though, I feel it's going to be like a Thriller video. They're going to be like, everybody's going to be like, it's going to be like everybody's hair, like just.
That's hilarious. It's going to be like Godzilla.
And it's almost like the new norm, which I actually appreciate because it's like 100% Cotton is my middle name, and now I actually get to embrace it. Like, yeah, you look like crap. Who cares?
I love it. I mean, that part of it, I love. I love looking like
good. I mean, it was sad. And then somebody was like, you have to relax. You have to relax into it.
I love when people say that.
And you know what? I'm not that relaxed. You're not either, right?
Relaxed. I am not okay.
Well, somebody gave me, I really have never meditated, and I keep thinking I'm going to meditate. Somebody sent me a meditation app. I was like, with 4 seconds in, I fast forwarded. I was like, it's too slow. It's too slow.
Yeah. First of all, their voices make me want to bash my head into a wall. Like, you could just take a breath no, this is not going to work. No. I'd rather someone just be like, listen, calm down already. Like, just like an old Jewish woman's voice just telling me to like, get off it and stop being a victim. Like,
can we talk about these characters you do? First of all, you're a prankster. We know that. I mean, you're a great comic. You've got great material. You're funny. Funny, again, that word funny, it's ridiculous with you. But you do these characters with the glasses and the yentas. What inspired that? Is this just from gigs or relatives?
I mean, everything I grew up with, going around, to Florida, growing up in Jersey, going to the country club, the whole shtick. I mean, everyone, people that have been around that get it. It's so great because it's so relatable. Yeah. But I was always a mimic. Since I'm a kid, I would just look at people and be able to mimic them, and I realized that I would get laughs from it. So I was like, this is great. Yeah. I'm able to win people over mimicking people.
I know, making fun of them. I used to do the same. I think I bought my house by making fun of rich people. It's sad.
That's what I do.
They were like, they wanted you to pick on them. They'd like, we are the show. We are the show.
They love the show.
Yeah, so those country club gigs where they'd say, so don't worry if my husband Morty leaves in the middle of your little skit. He's got a golf game tomorrow. Give us
your skit. I love when
my little skit. My little skit. Oh, you mean my career, my life, right?
Rachel Feinstein, who's a comic friend of mine, who you probably know. Oh, she's hysterical. She said her grandmother used to be like, "Did you have fun at your talent show?"
But tell me how I mean, as far as being taken seriously, and this is what you do, because I struggled with it myself. I was a government major, and I never thought even being a theater major was honorable enough.
Yeah.
I had so much guilt and self-flagellating. But how did you break through and all that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think you break through because you're damaged in this business. I mean, it's really, you have to be okay with being rejected and feeling uncomfortable and feeling
Yeah.
sad and feeling worried. I mean, I'm very good at that. So I was able to plow through it. But it's so funny. I've said to a couple of comedians who couldn't get anywhere, I'm like, you're too happy.
Right.
I'm like, you're too okay. You need to go get like assaulted or something. Like, I don't mean, I mean, meaning like, just like something needs to happen for you to be an angst and scared and afraid. Like you'll be great, but you're too okay
Yeah.
to be funny.
Well, tell me about like the stuff that you draw from. I know that you used to always talk. I mean, your weight has changed, and I mean in terms of
After this pandemic, I'm going to end up on my 600-pound life. I'm not even kidding. I can't. I'm going to eat my.
No, I think you look like. Remember, you used to talk about how I think you look
I
great.
was 100 pounds. Well, now I've gained since this started 7 pounds, and I know that doesn't sound like, but it's a lot because I can end up really letting it go and forget it.
But what else do you do during this? I mean, it's that, and I see people with either rosé or day. I'm like, I can't have a cocktail every day because then I will be, floating down.
I know you could be a drunk. I mean,
I know.
I don't know a little. There's no like a little of this or a little of that, and I'm secretive about it. I'm like, there's just crumbs everywhere, and I pretend like I'm not eating stuff. It's so crazy. I really, this is not I mean, it's a joke, but it's not. But I went on Weight Watchers and I downloaded the app and I put in what I eat and it counts the points. And this is a joke that I do on stage, but it's true. I lie on it. Right. So I lie on my own app and I'm the only one that sees it. It's sick.
Crazy.
That's what I do with food a lot. Like I'll eat, it sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not. I would eat Tostitos and tell myself it was corn. Like I am sick. Or popcorn is corn. Or
didn't you order things for other people? Didn't you do a bit about you order things?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so funny. You remember that because that's a new kind of thing that I'm trying to work on. But I do go through. I've many times been through drive-throughs and said, "I'll have 2 chicken sandwiches, one with mayo, one without," because he doesn't want mayo. I mean, I make up another.
Where's he?
Exactly. There's no he. And then I'll be like, he'll have a Sprite. I'm going to have a Diet Coke, of course, because I'm watching. I mean, it's so crazy. I'm worrying about what the person thinks working at McDonald's. It's nuts.
It is crazy. But I'll ask you something. So I feel like you're very creative in terms of getting material out there and just doing all the time, even especially during this. I mean, not just your stand-up, which you can't do in the same way. So now you're at the back of a truck, fine. But you've been doing this relatively sane podcast, which is great. Let's talk about that. And I also want to talk about the Yentas, the videos that you do that are hilarious. So,
the Yentas videos, I did those with Rachel Feinstein. Oh my God, 10 years ago. And
really?
Yeah. And we have a great connection. I mean, we're both, she's a little bit younger, but we both come from, we're both Jewish. Our mothers are both therapists. I mean, we have so much in common. We started exactly the same time. We both grew up in a Reformed Jewish household. We have very familiar, the same upbringing, a lot, very much so, very liberal parents. So we just crack up from each other, and then we did these characters. I mean, the crazy thing is they have like half wig on, like we have half of our hair.
Yeah, they're not even fully like. They're like, I can't adjust the wig even to bother. I can't bother.
I know, it's so ridiculous. But we laugh every time. I mean, we can't breathe when we do. I can't take listening to her. I mean, it's like these two companions, which happens to old Jewish women a lot, or old women, period. They
always seem like enemies, but they're friendly.
Yeah,
they're always like a love-hate thing. And they need each other, but then they're always they need someone to pick on.
Bickering.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I can't not laugh when I do it with her. She kills me. And then the podcast I started because at the time I wanted to do more of a Mark Maron kind of podcast where I interviewed people and was kind of serious and talked about anxiety and depression. And now everyone's depressed and anxious, and it's
the perfect storm has arrived for you.
I know. So now I'm like, I think I may switch to doing them alone and just ranting and taking questions from fans and being funny. So it's fun. It's called Relatively Sane, and I'm really proud of it. They're great.
And thank you, Jessica Kirson. You're the best.
You are. Love
Relax, meditate.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? We're at Guild Hall in East Hampton. I'm Angela LaGreca, and the very funny comedian Bill Burr is here. Say hi to Bill. Thank you. Okay. So you're like, whiter than the people in East Hampton.
I was
that.
gonna say, like, sitting next to you, I saw myself in a little monitor going, I'm gonna look even worse. Yeah, this is my actual color.
Yeah, because there
it's
aren't
a
that
protest against skin cancer.
Yeah, I was gonna
I show people what they're actually supposed to look like.
That's right.
When you come out of the womb.
So you had an HBO special? Big
Yes, I
deal.
did.
It was awesome last year, right?
Yeah, we taped it last year, and they aired it in September.
Where'd you tape it?
I taped it at NYU. I can't remember the name of the theater.
Right.
I was so focused on not messing up my jokes.
Oh man, but it was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's done a great thing for me as far as, getting people to show up, as you can see.
Yeah, we got a big audience here. It's standing room only.
Yeah.
When you work, do you find that you're writing new material on stage sometimes, like in smaller clubs, or are you just, you know what I mean? Like some comics, some feel like they work on their feet, and do you try stuff out?
I
really
write on
specifically?
stage, and it's like a cool thing, and it's also kind of lazy. Like I feel like I should be the way I used to be, where I'd wake up and I would write things down. But after I've done this long enough, what I basically do is if I think of something funny, I just write a word down on like a napkin.
Right. There you go.
And then because I know the first time I say it is I'm going to say it how I'm feeling it, and when I'm being disciplined, I'll record it.
Right.
And then I listen to it, and then I got it right the first time I said it. And then I listen to the recording, and then I just put it away. So then I just start doing the bit, and the bit organically kind of goes to where it's going to go. But if at any point I forget how to make it funny, I have the original time that I said it.
That's smart, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I wish I had that for every joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of cocktail napkins and a lot of drinks.
I'm doing a bit on global warming.
Yeah?
It somehow ties into dogs being castrated, and it's like this thing where it's like a 6-minute idea, and it's like a bumpy takeoff, but some nights I've been hitting it perfectly, and I've never been taping.
Have you performed out here before?
Yeah, I did. There's some sort of bar or something down the street, I've done a couple of. If they have a community college in the Hamptons,
you did it.
And a cafeteria, and they have shows at 1 in the afternoon, then I definitely did it.
You're squeegeeing cars on 27, trying to get people to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, they're horrific.
The Chuckle Hut in East Hampton is just right around the corner. Yeah.
Those college gigs were the worst.
Yeah.
When they put you up in the cafeteria and nobody has any idea
It's terrible.
that there's a show, and it's like, I sent you posters. Like, we put them up. People didn't really.
You have a new CD, and it's called
Emotionally Unavailable.
Emotionally Unavailable.
No, I definitely want to get married. I mean, just because I trash it on stage, you gotta look below the layers.
Yeah.
That's just fear.
Okay.
I'd love to be married, have kids,
Yeah.
have a garage with rakes and stuff
That
like
would be fun, yeah. Sure.
If I had a house out here, it'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you, and I hope you just do great tonight. I'm sure you will. Just get back in the car and
I think
drive
it'll be-
5
I think it'll
hours
be
back.
fine.
I think you can do great.